Hi, welcome to Management 1000, Spreadsheets 101. This is the second video, and we're going to look at plotting lines. So this is a fairly common skill, plotting lines in the XY plane. And the application is for your second business plan assignment. We're going to look at the break-even points for Cool Moose Creamery. So we're going to do the break-even analysis from the textbook on page 555. We're going to recreate textbook figure 17.1. So what we have are a few different items and put some titles, the item, the value, and the unit of measure. So we have total fixed cost, and it's $100,000. And this is a music store, so we have a variable cost. And the variable cost is $8 for a CD. So you can tell it's a very old example where they actually sell physical media versus downloading the internet. Anyways, and then price is $15 a CD. Whoops, 15. And separate from my units of measure. There we go. So that's our data, and let me just sort of illustrate what our break-even chart is going to look like. We're going to have the quantity of CDs on this axis and the dollars on this axis, and our fixed costs will start at $100,000, and we'll add the variable cost. So this is a total cost line, which is my fixed cost plus my variable cost. And as our quantities go along, so we started at $100,000 when we have 0 CDs, and this is going up at a rate of $8 a CD. And then, of course, when we sold 0 CDs, our revenues are 0. And this is our revenue line up here, and it's going up at a higher rate, $15 a CD. Right, the quantity of CDs here, and at some point we'll hit our break-even point where these two lines cross, and there'll be the quantity of CDs we must sell before we go from losses to profits, and that's what we're trying to graph. So that's what we're trying to do, and away we go. The way we do these things is the following. We'll set up a few ranges. These will be the x coordinates and the y coordinates. So we'll have x coordinates for the endpoints of the line, and then we'll have another set of x coordinates and another column with y coordinates. And we'll set up another set of x coordinates and another set of y coordinates. So we'll have, a line here, a line here, a line here. So this is kind of the sketch for it. We'll build it in the spreadsheet momentarily. So our x coordinates in every case are the quantity, CDs, and we'll start with the total cost. So total cost. Now we're going to start at 0, and we're going to go up to 25,000. And again, I'm just recreating the figure from the textbook. You can put any value you want in, and I'll show you how this is going to work momentarily. Our total cost here is going to be our fixed cost plus our variable cost times the quantity of CDs, so $100,000, which is what we would expect. And again, this is a calculated value, so let's give it our calculated value color. And our total cost here is going to be fixed cost plus $8 a CD times 25,000 CDs gives me 300,000. And again, that's a calculated value. So these will be the first 2 points on my line. And where's some nice formatting? There we go. And we'll do the same thing. We'll do a revenue line now. And our revenue line, again, we're going to start at 0, and we're going to go up to 25,000. 1,000 CDs. Now we're going to put the y coordinates for our revenue line in this column. So we'll keep our x's together and put our y's in subsequent columns. And here, of course, we have $15 a CD times our number of CDs, which is 0. Here we have $15 a CD times 25,000 CDs, which gives us 375,000. So at this stage, you can see that at 25,000, we have a total cost of $300,000. We make a revenue of $375,000. So we have a positive profit of $75,000. So we're going from losses to positive values. So let's put a little outline around those guys, indicate that they're grouped together. Now we want to do the break-even point for the CDs. And what we're going to do is we're going to draw a vertical line. So we have a vertical line here that we want to draw. So the y value here is going to be 0. We need to calculate this value. We also need to calculate how far it is from the start. So we need to calculate this value. This value is going to be 0. We need to calculate this value up here, and it's going to be the same x value. So we'll calculate the x value here twice, and we'll calculate a y value here. Now, might be a little confusing, so we'll start. One endpoint will be 0. The break-even point is going to be my fixed costs divided by my price minus my variable cost, and I get 14,285, and this is going to be the same as that. So those are my x coordinates. That's how far over the line is going to be. Let's get rid of some of those decimals, make it nice and pretty. This is 0, and now we need to figure out how far up that line is going to be. Well, if we sell 14,286 CDs at $15 a CD, we'll get $214,286. And again, calculated value, make it blue. Reduce the decimals, make it nice and pretty. And there we have the endpoints for that line. So we'll outline those guys. And we wanted to have, again, our break-even point. We want to have a little line, a horizontal line going this way. So it's going to start at x equals 0 and go over this much. How high up is it going to be? It's going to be that high up at both ends. So we're just graphing the endpoints of the lines. So again, this one's very straightforward. So we're going to start at 0, and we're going to go up $214,286, and we are going to go over 14,286 CDs and up that amount. So these values show up in blue, and again, give them a nice outline. And now I've got 4 lines that I'm going to graph. Well, I forgot to give this a title, so this is my break-even point, and this is on the dollar axis. So there's my data that I'm going to chart. So we'll go up to the Charts tab. We will choose a scatter chart, and we'll have nice lines. And there it is. Looks kind of hokey right now, so let's move it into its own tab. So we'll call this break-even point. And there it is, nice and big. Okay, like I mentioned, the chart colors and so on for the defaults are fairly ugly. So you can right mouse click on it, or just double click on it, and you can fix up the line. So I'm suggesting that a revenue line should show up in green. Green is the color of money, and we'll make that 2 points. So a little bit thinner than it was before. Blue doesn't sound like a cost line. Let's change this one to red. And again, let's make it a little nicer looking. These two lines here, they're just information lines, and we're going to make them black. 1 point. We'll make them dashed so that they're slightly different looking than the other lines. And dashed at 1 point again. Make sure that it's black. And that's good. So there's all of our information. Now you'll note that this axis, we said 25,000 was our maximum, and Excel in its brilliant wisdom decided to make the maximum 30,000. So let's change that and just have this at 25,000. That's good. Now our chart doesn't have any titles, so if we go charts and chart layout, we can add a title, something meaningful. Cancel that. Break even. Break even analysis. There we go. Want to give it a horizontal axis. This is quantities of CDs. And if we want to give it a vertical axis title, this is revenue or total cost, depending on which, but the unit of measure in both cases is dollars. And there we've recreated the chart from figure 17.1 in the textbook, page 555. And again, just a reminder that the way to interpret this is below the break-even point. So between 14,000 and so on CDs down to 0, our cost line, our costs exceed our revenues. So we're going to experience some losses in this region. At the break-even point, our costs and our revenue are identical, and above the break-even point, so beyond 14,000 some odd CDs, our revenue line is going to be greater than our cost line, so we're going to experience a profit situation. And the amount of money at break-even is, what, $214,000 or something like that. Anyways, that's the break-even analysis in a nutshell.